I was so conflicted because I just didn't know what to do, you know? It's not that I was scared to do it, it's just that what if I ask him and he just thinks that it's rude? Before I could even finish my sentence, this is what he said. Okay, so another episode of Behind the Scenes. I guess you could call this one highly requested. So I'm about to get straight into this Gary Vee situation, but if you have not watched our Atlanta behind the scenes video, I'd go click that and watch it just so you get a bit more context around this one. Also, if you appreciate the vulnerability and just me putting out these type of videos, I would just say take a moment and like quickly subscribe or press like or comment, just because it helps me a ton. It helps me put out these videos for you guys. Alright, let's get into it. So you guys know my strategy during A3C Fest was to ask questions at every single panel. This way I can get my brand awareness out to the panelists themselves, but then also the audience. Now with all those panels happening, there was this one really big headline event. The event was supposed to be Gary Vee doing an interview with rapper Lil Keed live. Now Gary Vee is obviously known for like his multi-million-dollar businesses, but you know, I actually watch his advice videos. Like back when I was starting KTO, I used to watch all of his interviews with people like Cole Bennett, and after watching them, I really noticed two things. One, he's really into hip-hop. Two, he's always talking about how people in their 30s and 40s are still super young and have a ton of time to follow their dreams. So, you know, it kind of got me thinking, like, damn, what would Gary Vee think of a 19-year-old kid who interviewed a bunch of famous rappers and is building a media outlet from the ground up? If I got a one-on-one meeting with Gary Vee, I know for a fact he'd be super impressed. And I knew that DMing Gary Vee would never work, so what if I got a chance to use my quick question as a pitch to him at A3C? Now for those other panels, I would get there like 30 minutes in advance, you know, just to get in the front line, but for this Gary Vee headlining event, knowing how many passionate fans he has, including me, I got there 2 hours early. I just gotta be really quick when it comes to the question time. So fast forward, Gary Vee comes out, everyone goes wild. So he announced that Lil Keed didn't show up, which to be honest, I was kind of expecting.
Sending a little love to my man Keed, he got caught up, so I'm gonna give this keynote solo.
And some people behind me were like super pissed, but me personally, I was like, okay, this just gives me more time to give my pitch to Gary. So Gary right off the bat starts giving this talk about how we have so much opportunity through our cell phones and how so many people make all these excuses. But I'm gonna be honest, the whole time I wasn't really paying attention to the talk. I was just feeling like a lot of anxiety. There was this big TV with a clock on it and the timer was going down, and I'm like, wow, like my life could literally change in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So at this point, Gary gets the mic and he's like, all right guys, there's 10 minutes left. I think I'm gonna take this time to answer some questions. So I turned around, and I kid you not, by the time I looked back, there were people forming 2 lines to ask questions already. I'm like, what the hell? Like I sat in the front. What happened to putting up your hand and getting chosen? So whatever, I mean, I just had to scramble at that moment. I ran up and I got in, let's say like the middle of one of the lines. Keep in mind that there's 2 lines, meaning it takes even longer. It was such a shoving match at first. As time went on, man, people would ask the most retarded questions, like no offense. They would actually be like, Gary, you know, I want to post stuff on social media, but I'm not quite sure how I should do it, and I keep comparing myself to people like the Kardashians and stuff. Unfortunately, he took forever to answer, and it was just a repeat of those type of questions. But whatever, at least no one asked to shake his hand. Anyways, there was like 3 minutes left. I kept looking at my brother, just knowing that this was such a disappointment and like a failure. There's really no reason for me to stay in this lineup.
So then what it might be is just patience.
My issue is discipline.
What would it take to create a viral music video?
There ended up being 1 minute left, but keep in mind it's not my turn. There's 2 lines. There was 1 minute left on the clock. It takes like 30 seconds to actually ask the question, and then probably 30 to even longer for Gary to answer it.
You gotta share your true stories. That always, the most unique thing about you is the thing that gives you the best storytelling skill.
I knew it was done for me at that moment. Even the A3C worker was like, hey man, sorry, we just don't have enough time. So I was like literally thinking of stepping out, and you would not believe how bad of luck I had at this next moment. So the moment Gary stopped answering the question,
thank God you can now be whoever the fuck you want.
the clock hit 0. I couldn't believe that my luck was so bad that I'd get turned down last second. Like, it was kind of humiliating, to be honest. It was one of those moments where you know, like, you 100% know that you work so hard for something, but you just gotta take the L and move on. The worker told me to go sit back down, but then Gary actually turned around and he gave me the signal. He was like, no, go ahead. I was so shocked, like, he didn't have to do that. Like, Gary, if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you for going over your time limit, because you didn't have to, but maybe you saw that I just was standing there the whole time and really wanted it. So here's a clip of what happened next.
Hey Gary, what's up? I'm 19 years old, I moved from Vancouver, and I basically run a hip-hop YouTube channel called Kids Take Over, because I believe kids can achieve anything through the internet, and I've interviewed like Murder Beats, Saw Baby, Shoreline Mafia, Beethoven, and I did this all literally hustling through the internet. I just sent a DM or an email, and
fucking asked.
yeah, and my last video got 250,000 views, and basically, thank you guys so much. And my question to you is, I know that you maneuvered your way through the music industry within the past, I think, 2 years or so.
10 years.
Okay.
But the reason I'm taking this advantage, me and Mike Boyd have been doing this.
Yeah.
Hip Hop at Lunch was popping in 2009. We were fucking giving Travis Porter love before some of you were fucking in high school. Like, I've been doing this. I love when people think this is today. The only thing about today is I quadruple down on my content and show you everything. We've been doing this. Oh, go ahead.
Well, my question to you is, I told you I interviewed the Beethovens and the Murder Beats.
Hey, D-Rock, shut up. Shh, get quiet, thank you.
I still love you, D-Rock, but how do I go from the Murder Beats and the Beethovens to the Babies and the Lotus Birds?
How do you go?
How do I make that jump from those artists to the tier 1 artists?
In the same way you did the first part. You fucking ask, you keep putting out fire content, and the more you keep doing it, the more likely you're gonna get somebody like that. Plus, like Lyrical Lemonade, like Rolling Loud, like everything else, a lot of the people you're gonna get early are gonna become the fucking people. I'm fucking DMing Gunna when he has 6,000 followers on Instagram, not when he has 2 million. I'm hitting up Keed when he had 5,000. So what happens? You put in work. It's the answer I gave you right away. You said 2 years, and you're right, because that's what people can publicly see. It's been 10 years. So that's how it actually works. Keep doing exactly what you're doing, right? You're in Vancouver, Kelly should be next. He's from Toronto, he's a Canada boy. Just put in work, put in work, put in work. Eventually those people become the people.
Eventually.
So there you go. The gist of his answer was basically that I should try to find artists before they're at that peak of blowing up, like just how we found Lil Keed and Gunna. But yo, forget the actual answer to my question. Holy, I couldn't believe that I was the absolute last one to get picked. Like, it felt like it was just destined to happen. I feel like he actually took me seriously and was impressed. I had a feeling that he actually remembered my face, he remembered the brand, and you know, I was just happy that I got myself out there to him. But something in me just said, like, you know, that was cool and all, but it's not enough. There was something more that I had to get done. So the talk finished, and I actually had a bunch of people coming up to me, like congratulating me, a bunch of random people just saying how much I inspire them and stuff, and that was dope. But I overheard some people saying that there was a Gary Vee meet and greet for VIP ticket holders, which I clearly didn't have that. So what I did was, I kind of just followed someone with the VIP wristband.
Go run.
I quickly waited till the security guard was just looking slightly the other direction, and boom, I just walked in there as if I belonged. So I was in the room, there's a ton of other VIP people, and they're all waiting for Gary Vee, you know, just anticipating that meet and greet. At that moment, I got a text from my brother, and he was like, yo dude, you gotta go up to Gary Vee and ask to interview him. I was so conflicted because I just didn't know what to do, you know? It's not that I was scared to do it, it's just that, what if I ask him and he just thinks that it's rude and then we never speak again? I instantly remembered this one video Gary Vee made, and it was called Never Close on the First Date. This guy basically asked him a question live, which was, you know, could you tweet about my business to your 900,000 followers?
So since I am a complete stranger, would you mind tweeting about it to your 900,000 friends?
Good hustle. I'm obsessed with hustle, right? But see, what I find interesting is, even though I just gave it a really passionate talk, you went for the 19-year-old dude move, right? You tried to close on our first transaction. And so that gives you a big fucking no.
And Gary refused because that adds no value to him. So wouldn't my situation pretty much be similar? I remember when I asked Gary my question, he said that he'd been in the music industry for 10 years, and it was because of this guy named Mike Boyd. Mike Boyd is basically Gary Vee's music A&R.
People don't expect you to know about Trippie Redd. I hear that, I'm like, this guy's actually paying attention.
Yeah, but the key is Mike Boyd, right? The key is the people you surround yourself with.
He's actually an OG in like the Atlanta rap scene, and he's basically the reason Gary Vee is just so up to date on hip hop. And I searched up his Instagram and I saw that he's beyond well connected and he actually has his own following. So I was like, you know what? Screw asking Gary to do an interview right now. I'm gonna go up to Gary during the meet and greet. I'm gonna pull out my YouTube channel and show him that I'm not playing around. And basically I would let him know, hey Gary, I'm the one who asked you the question. I know you remember me. I know it's a long shot to interview you, so I'm gonna go and ask Mike Boyd to do an interview, and then I want you to just see it. All I want you to do is just watch it, and I know you'll be impressed. So let me tell you guys what actually happened. I'm in the lineup, it's my turn. Usually you're just supposed to take a photo with him and bounce. So I just asked this girl behind me, I was like, yo, can you just pretend like you're taking a picture of me? And then quickly I'll talk to Gary. So let me tell you guys exactly what happened. I wrote it down all on my phone the moment it happened. So I went up to him, I'm like, Gary, I'm the 19-year-old that asked you the question. And he was like, my man, don't worry. I remember. I was gonna try to do it in that raspy Gary Vee voice, but I just can't do it. But then I said, yo Gary, I just wanna show you that my YouTube channel is legit and I'm doing like pretty decent in views. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I pretty much just showed him my most popular videos to, you know, impress him. And he said, I know it's legit. I fucking believe you that it's legit and I believe in what you're gonna do. I don't want you to ever stop because you came too far so young. So from there, I'm like, shit, this guy's actually kind of impressed by me. And I said word for word, Gary, I know it's a long shot to ask you to do an interview, so I just want to let you know that I'm gonna interview Mike Boyd from your team. And he actually interrupted me right there. Before I could even finish my sentence, this is what he said. And then I'm gonna somehow see it and then you're gonna interview me. I asked him, I'm like, Gary, are you for real? And he was like, yeah, why not, man? And then I guess I just took the picture with him anyway so I could prove it to you guys. And from there on, I kind of just followed Mike Boyd to see where he would go. He was outside, I kind of just pulled up on him. I was like, yo Mike, I'm 19 years old. I know that you heard me ask my question to Gary. I actually just want to interview you for our FaceTime series because I know that you're a big OG in the Atlanta music scene and I just appreciate everything you do for Gary.
I was showing you like, yo, it's legit. I'm not just like some random person. But I interviewed Ronnie J through the series I have called FaceTime. And I live in Vancouver, so I obviously can't come to you. So I'd love to interview you on FaceTime.
And right off the bat, he was like, of course, man, let's do it. So we exchanged numbers. I texted him here and there. And it's been about 2 weeks since that day. And me and Mike Boyd filmed that FaceTime interview. And Gary, I don't know if you're gonna end up watching this video or you're gonna watch the interview I did with Mike Boyd. But regardless, I just want to say I put a lot of work into it and I hope you're impressed. I would just love to interview you on the music side of things because I feel like people don't really do that. And it would just mean a lot if you gave a 19-year-old kid the chance to do that. But for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I'm excited for you to see that Mike Boyd interview next week. And yeah, I'm Marshawn from Kids Take Over and you guys are watching Behind the Scenes. Hey guys, thank you for watching that Behind the Scenes video. I think one big takeaway that we could all use is, well, always to reach for the stars, you know, the sky's the limit. But you know, make sure you also have a realistic plan as well. I'm sure we'd all love to work with our idols and we can. Trust me, we can. But why don't we try working with their right-hand man first, you know? Why don't we try doing the things that will gain their respect and then the rest will follow? So if you believe in my vision, you know, be sure to tag Gary Vee on our Instagram, which is @KidsTakeOverIG. But otherwise, here's this week's top comment. So on the last video, I can't believe I'm saying this, really, SoundCloud commented, continue to push forward, continue to create, thanks for coming out, hope to see you at the next one. So thank you, SoundCloud. But wow, yeah, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe so I can keep giving you this type of content, and yeah, see you guys next video.